The head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. It's where the ceremony took place. The Lock were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with lock or luck, or split the difference with look or even lick. Really anything else, but it was never going to happen. Marge Luck and Arrow Locke met in prison. She's a volunteer teaching conflict mediation skills to guards. He was employed at the side gate accepting deliveries and greeting visitors. Neither of them once saw a prisoner. Their engagement was welcome news for the family businesses who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. These were the Locks of Lock Large Animal Storage and the Lucks of Luck Family Nut Company. Surely someone in some branch of those two great trees had elephant husbandry of the brain. This is all speculation. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral, like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. It must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon and her friend set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. Act 4, Scene 7. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as a tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to his elbows in mammoth grease right now. So you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or, excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the bat sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. I think light's good. I like light. Ooh. Okay, so this is what I get to control. Nope, 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 nope. Come back over here. Come back over here. Back over here right now. It's fine. We claim these helmets and the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and treated our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find, and so we guess the water buried them for us. So let this here be the marker for their grave. If any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we met in. Where your folks, worked. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No, I guess you probably don't. It probably stirs up... I mean, how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are, remembering. I didn't even know it the first time around, but here I am remembering it now. It's a fine memorial, I guess. Blue's with us. Oh. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Ha ha. Are you feeling okay? Oh, sure, it doesn't hurt anymore. My leg, it's just kind of numb. He's not there. Shoulder too, actually. That's an old one, though, from an accident. I'm lucky I just have had some nerve damage there. Probably should have been a lot worse. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation. Just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg. You know, get all together on a plan. Consolidated. Sounds like a really bad idea. Oh, I don't know. They seem to have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff. Got the whole process figured out. Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Give this delivery? Yeah, we're almost there, right? At this point, I bet we could just take off the parking brake and that truck would roll into 5 Dogwood Drive by itself. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira, my set's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like it very much. But somehow, Liz got it in her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did. Maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. One more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. Sure, I'd keep an eye out for you until you get straightened out. Sure, okay. Sounds good. Visitors to the Echo River Nomadic River Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The nomadic river bat is confused by light. If you're using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you're approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of these ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. Wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing. I like to hear that. Get to this bat fact right now. We're looking at it. The nomadic river bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the nomadic river bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the nomadic river bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systematic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Leth. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum, manually distribute throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. I wonder how the bats would feel about their guano being taken like that. Maybe it's better they don't know. Like bat plumbing, I mean. I never think about where it goes, do you? Right. It is reassuring to know someone's taking care of everything for these little bats. Yeah, who's gonna build the people hibernaculum? Maybe we'll build it ourselves. Maybe we already did. The folks in the mine said they used to buy stuff. Fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. Still a lot of stuff down there. Feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, all people need is enough to pretend we're home. We can make it anywhere. Sure, people can, but what about bats? Maybe we'll have to teach them. Hell, what am I saying? I know about 100% more on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here. Sorry, that's a feeder. Fact. On that tree. Look at it now. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy when they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder, as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the nomadic river bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Nomadic River Bat Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Oh, hi, I remember you. Do you know where the telephone exchange operator is? I don't know what that means. I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. I think I'm more classical myself. Sounds like the same thing to me. Okay, bye. Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. I'll be careful. Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground. Huh. That's a pretty good idea. Probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse. I think that's how you would pronounce it. Never seen that name in my life. Pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box a customer could detach right before the wall jack. Sounds like a good gig, fixing old phones. Oh, well, yeah, I'm here just about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid. One reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too, but they were considered a nuisance. Train station? What happened to it? Well, the river shifted, and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river. I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. Close I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP. That's community television. I volunteered there for a number of years. I know everyone over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives. I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail shop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. Guess I'll get back to this old damn ringer. Bobby's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft, but old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrass. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. Aw, that's what the statues are for. Oh. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? Consolidated Power Company. Oh dear, I'm afraid to open it. So who are you? Do you work for the post office? Or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? I'm just doing Kate a favor, dropping off this package. Kate! I love Kate. She helped deliver both my nieces, one in a hospital and one at the base of a mossy, moonlit oak. It was beautiful. I love Kate. I think Loretta's granddaughter used her, too. Oh, Loretta used to work here. I actually think quite a few of our former operators have relied at some time on Kate's services. Well, now I guess they'll have more time with their little ones. You can see all their chairs are empty. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller. But he had it coming. And I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jana, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13. That was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. Oh, the power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in. It was nothing. Nothing. They started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Karen, and Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment as a private PBX. They had Jana and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. It was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell, and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Sound pretty good to me. He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. So, where was I? Extended switchboard technique. It's all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row. That upbeat dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It's very physical. So after a few months, it was just me. New automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There's still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. You know, it really is all about touch here. Sounds of vibration, a touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching. Even on the phone. That's an electric touch. An intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that officially is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once a work of 12, I'd like to remind you. They have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator light switch on, and I make the connection. Huh. That applies to basically everything now. You miss talking to callers? You know, there's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automatic switchboard? Rough estimate. At least a month. That's what I said. This has been going on for over a year. A very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheat machine? You're not a machine. Nice of you to notice. Haha. I'm more in the Echo River Central Exchange. I'll carry a torch for the voice with a smile. But at least I'm keeping some part of it human, right? Even if it's not the best part. Oh, the parcel! Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. She returned on the dinghy, alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. Said they took turns. Water was cold, and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work. Hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so they only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She asked if he had a guitar in his case or just clothes. He would have played or something, but the case leaked a bit. Didn't think it would sound right until it had time to dry out. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into 2 categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these because its currents were so unpredictable, the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory. Mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it. Though it was so unpredictable and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She had a family of 5 on a flat-bottomed skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in a blue tarp. 3 paddled, the 2 adults and the older child. The 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car and then, for the last few hours, by boat. Hungry and tired, they didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia. A relative had offered to take them in. The adults were happy to take a break from paddling in weary silence. They asked her about her river journey. She told them about the memorial. They were sympathetic, no minors in their family, but he was once injured at a warehouse job and had to fight for disability pay. They knew what these companies were like, what it was like to have to assert your humanity to them. I feel that one. They wished her well and paddled on towards West Virginia. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then, she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. Act 4, Scene 8. Salmonitis.